Okay, so I think we're going to start, everyone. Welcome to our session. Please feel free to comment in the chat at any time, and we'll also have question time towards the end. So if you can see my screen, you know that you're here for information about the International Day of Action Against Contract Cheating, which is not today. Today is the pre-event. So we're doing a pre-event to promote the event on the 19th of October and to try to help you to understand it and, crucially, to demystify the International Day of Action. So that's what we want to do, to try and make it perhaps easier for you to contribute and participate in the International Day of Action on the 19th of October. So our event today is a roundtable. I'll be inviting my co-presenters to speak and give some ideas to you. They're going to discuss some challenges and misconceptions about participation in the International Day of Action, and also suggest a wide variety of ways that everyone can contribute to the International Day of Action on a small, medium or large scale. So we really want to welcome absolutely everyone, whether you have a key role in academic integrity or you're just interested in academic integrity and trying to promote it, then we hope we're going to offer you something that you can do for that day. So I'd like to introduce my fellow contributors to today's event. So I'm Mary Davis. I work at Oxford Brookes University in the UK, and with me is Irene Glendinning from Coventry University, also in the UK. And next, Amanda Mackenzie, who is at the University of Waterloo in Canada, and she's also the ICAI board member. Anna is here. Hi, Anna Casamali from Brookes University, Canada. Thank you very much. We've got lots of Canadian support today. Next up, Rachel Gorjup from the University of Toronto, Canada, and Natalie Lafferty from the University of Dundee in the UK. Next up, Lucy Puente Cruz from Tec de Monterrey, Mexico. And finally, Zina Reza Khan from University of Wollongong in Dubai in the United Arab Emirates. So you can see we've got 4 countries represented today, and we're hoping, therefore, that you will see this as a big sort of global initiative to offer you some support for the International Day of Action. A brief recap on numbers of institutions worldwide. It is a very global event. Last year, there were 182 institutions worldwide that participated in the day. Let's see how many we can get to. Please help us to keep the number growing for this year. So I'm just going to talk about a couple of resources that we've developed for this year, and I'll show you in a moment where to access them. What you've got on the screen at the moment is a resource that you can use to discuss with students using news reports to discuss the long-term professional and social impacts of academic integrity problems. So what's on the screen is one example of that. We've got about 16 examples, 16 different news stories, I think. This one is about impersonation, and it's about a construction manager who stole the identity and qualifications of a colleague. In other words, he wasn't a qualified construction manager, built a building that then collapsed and killed many people, and that was in New Zealand. So we've got lots of examples like that, which can serve as very thought-provoking discussions with students. You're very welcome to use this resource with staff and students. We've also compiled a list of recommended open access teaching resources about academic integrity. And the example on the screen is one from TEXA, based in Australia. There are some really good videos to help to teach academic integrity. So those are a couple of resources. Where to find them? There is a link to them. If you go on the ICAI website, and you click on the conferences tab, you'll find a drop down to the International Day of Action web page. Here you'll find lots of information about the day, but the part I've just highlighted has these links into the resources I've just shown you, so the news items and the teaching resources. So just a couple of other plugs. The International Day of Action on the 19th of October. We've got 4 live events for you on that day. I've just given the UK times, so please do recalculate depending on where you are. We've got an event to start about how everyone can contribute to academic integrity, and that will be a round table again to discuss this with different experts from around the world. We'll also end with a similar session, but different people about the same topic, how everyone can contribute to academic integrity, hopefully give you some more ideas there. And we also have a student-led escape room demo. So they're doing a game to teach students academic integrity. So please tune in for that. And finally, Irene Glendinning, who's here today, is going to be talking to Thomas Lancaster about the current dangers. So there'll be a conversation between them at 2 p.m. So those are the events on the day that we've organized, but we're going to try and give you ideas during this session to help you to hold some events of your own or different initiatives and ideas. So I'm going to stop sharing and I'm going to hand over first to Anna. So Anna, if you would like to turn on your camera. Anna is at Brookes University in Canada and is going to talk about some student communications for the International Day of Action. Over to you, Anna.
Thank you, Mary. Good morning and hello to everyone from St. Catharines in Ontario, Canada. It's a beautiful area, so if you haven't been here, please take the time to come and visit us. We are near the Niagara Falls. So Mary, just to give you an overview, we have been working on this since early in the year, by the way, just planting the seed. And we have a communication currently under preparation with our marketing department. It will go out on October 19th. And this is actually, it's an communication across the organization. It's not only to students, it's to staff, faculty, and we will give an overview of the day. By the way, this is the first time that we are actually engaging in such a wider initiative across the organization. So many did not know about the day. So we are doing a little bit of everything, talking about the day, talking about academic integrity as a whole. So we are using this opportunity to actually put the plug on other things. It is a simple communication. I'm still working on the final print, so that's why I can't share with you right now. But once it's finalized, I'm happy to share a copy with you, Mary. But this is what we are doing. It's a simple initiative, humble, modest, but we are just, we just want to make sure we mark the day.
That's great. Thank you very much, Anna. And as Anna's showing you, you can do something quite simple, but it can still be very effective. So I'm going to hand over next to Amanda Mackenzie, because should have done that first, but I've already managed to change around the order. Amanda is going to talk a bit about the whole event and how it started in previous years. Thank you, Amanda.
Great. Thank you, Mary. Yeah, just to go back a little bit to give people the history about this day. I'm also one of the board members for the International Center for Academic Integrity, and I've had the great pleasure of working with the group that supports this work for the International Day of Action over the last few years. So how did this International Day of Action come about? It was actually a brainchild of some of the experts in academic integrity back in 2015. I learned from Irene Glendinning that I think Trisha Bertram-Gallant was one of the first people who had this idea and pulled people together, and then it's been an ongoing event ever since then. It is based on the International Global Day of Ethics, which is from the Carnegie Foundation. It's always the third Wednesday in October every year. And the International Day of Action Against Contract Cheating decided to use this day so we could leverage basically, again, following ethics and to promote, awareness about the perils of contract cheating. We're also moving a bit more towards more of a focus on academic integrity as something we want to promote rather than focusing on sort of the negative behavior. So it's morphing and changing over time. But I will say that over the years, we've had a very strong contingent of supporters. Irene, Glendinning, and Thomas Lancaster have been there from, I think, almost the start. If not the start, Zenith Khan has also been a contributor over the years. And these people come from all over the globe. So it really is truly an international event. So we have people in the UAE, people in the UK. We've had people from Australia, Greece, Mexico, Canada, the United States. And it's really quite a pleasure to see everyone work together to highlight this event every year. So I appreciate you joining us. And I know there's many more events coming up on October 19th. So if you don't have capacity to create your own event at your institution, I would encourage you to share the links and get the word out there and join our activities on October 19th. Back to you, Mary.
Thanks very much, Amanda. And I've put a link in the chat for everyone if you want to have a look at the International Day of Action webpage. I'll also put a link to the invitations for the 4 events. So let's stay with our Canadian contributors. I'd like to invite Rachel Gorge up next from University of Toronto, and Rachel's going to tell us about how students can promote to other students, such as in roles of student ambassadors. Over to you, Rachel. Thanks.
Perfect. Thank you, Mary. So my name is Rachel Gorjup. I'm the Academic Appeals and Integrity Coordinator at the University of Toronto on the Mississauga campus. So part of my role is outreach, and the aim is to promote academic integrity and excellence across the UTM community. So one way we can do this is by using social media to promote our unit's message and highlight academic integrity events that are taking place across campus and beyond. So today I'm just going to share some brief ideas that look at the possibilities of using social media to promote the International Day of Action. So our unit mainly uses Instagram, and we have started venturing into TikTok as well. But Instagram has a lot of great features that are designed to help us interact with our audience. So the first one I'm going to point out is Instagram Live. So this allows you to broadcast a live conversation between multiple people. So this is a feature that our unit used last year on the International Day of Action to host a conversation between 2 student ambassadors to discuss academic integrity and contract cheating. So the students were able to provide information to the audience and answer any questions during the live. Instagram also has a great quiz feature that allows you to ask multiple choice questions and quiz your audience on their knowledge about a certain topic. For example, you could quiz your audience about academic integrity, contract cheating, or the International Day of Action. So Instagram also has polls that you can use to survey your audience and gather information about them. And they also have question and answer boxes that can be placed on your Instagram story, which can allow students to submit their questions about academic integrity and the International Day of Action, and you can post the answers for everyone to see. So some tips that our unit likes to use for Instagram to build our following and put out content that is great, we like to utilize hashtags. So for the International Day of Action, we have been provided with the hashtags Excel with Integrity and also My Own Work. But for any academic integrity posts that you are posting on your social media, you may wish to add these hashtags or add hashtags about academic integrity to draw in people who are on Instagram who are searching these keywords. Something that we also like to do is to tag larger accounts in our organization and ask them to share our posts or our event information. So at your institution, you are probably aware of some social media pages that attract a large number of followers. So for us, it's the Office of the Registrar, the Center for Student Engagement, our Student Union, and the International Education Center, and there's many more. But these accounts have thousands of followers, while our account is still approaching 500 followers. So when we post anything about our academic integrity events or these posts about the International Day of Action, we like to tag these larger accounts and even send them a message asking them if they can share our message with their audience, so we can get many more eyes on our posts and hopefully many more people out at our events. Another thing that we like to do is we like to use contests and giveaways to grow our social media following. So we can partner with these larger groups on campus and try to gain some of their followers and attract them to our page. So you may wish to do an International Day of Action giveaway where students can comment a pledge about academic integrity, maybe follow your account or also tag a friend, and they may be entered into a draw to win a prize. So it's also important that we're posting frequently and even repeating posts to ensure that many people can see our message and they know about the events that are taking place. So we make sure to interact with any messages that are asking us about events or academic integrity, and we can direct the students to appropriate resources when necessary. So we create all of our graphics using Canva and Illustrator to create in-feed and story posts to promote the International Day of Action and the activities that are happening here at UTM. So most of the content is created by staff members of the Academic Integrity Unit, including work study students, and sometimes even our Academic Integrity Unit student ambassadors. We also make sure that we post real-time videos and images of our Academic Integrity Unit student ambassadors participating in fun events on campus. This attracts people to the location and they can join into the event. And it also helps promote our student ambassador program for students who may be interested in joining us next year. So this year for the International Day of Action, we are going to be setting up a table in a very busy location on our campus on October 19th. And we will be involving our student ambassadors to promote awareness about the day and about academic integrity in general. So we will be creating a pledge form that has our unit's logo, the International Day of Action hashtags, and with some inspiration from the ideas that others have shared, we will be asking students to complete the phrase, "I stand for academic integrity because." So we are thinking that any student who completes a pledge will be entered into a raffle to win a prize, which will be announced on our social media. So we are hoping to take images of students holding their pledges, which could be used moving forward on our social media, or we even discuss creating a larger poster or display with all of these pledges. We will also be using our Instagram to promote the TikTok contest to all of the students at UTM. And we have asked our AIU student ambassadors to submit an entry into the TikTok competition. So hopefully I was able to spark some ideas about how you can use social media to promote the International Day of Action and academic integrity. Thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, Rachel. Really amazing amount of ideas there to galvanize your social media strategies and engage students. I'm just putting in a link in the chat to the International Day of Action TikTok contest. If you haven't seen it already, please do promote to students. The link takes you to the rules for the contest, and there's still time for students to participate in that. So great, we've got lots of ideas for engaging students very effectively from Rachel. Next, I'm going to invite Natalie Lafferty to turn on the camera, and Natalie is from the University of Dundee in the UK and is going to talk about raising awareness among students.
Thanks
Over
very
to
much,
you, Natalie.
Mary. Thanks, Mary, and good afternoon, everyone. As Mary said, I'm based at the University of Dundee, and this is the first time really that we've really got involved in the International Day of Action. We've been working for a number of years now with our student union, and our first step was really to create a video with them, raising awareness around academic integrity issues, and similarly with our library colleagues, trying to raise awareness around plagiarism and giving credit for work where it's due in student work. And in the absence of a formal academic integrity lead in the institution, we've just been trying to raise the profile a little bit about some of these issues, and very, I guess, conscious, particularly amongst staff, that there are some who are very concerned about academic integrity issues. Some are maybe terrified by it, and some just have, I think, maybe a lack of understanding or complete inertia, or even potentially some ignorance around some of the issues that are emerging around academic integrity. And so what we're really doing is we've got a brand new or a revised academic integrity policy. And so we've been reviewing the videos that we've created previously and are in the process of updating those. And we'd hoped to launch them actually during the week of the Action Day, but that's not been quite possible. So we're going to use the Day of Action and that week to start seeding some of the materials and the resources that we've developed. And we're going to be sharing those similarly to what we've heard from our colleagues already, using social media channels to promote those to students, working again with our student union to get them promoted through their social media channels. We're also going to be having them displayed, and some of them are quite thought-provoking images, just having those displayed across our library sites, and also in some of the other buildings where teaching is taking places, where we've got large screens with messaging, etc. Just to begin to seed some conversations. And we also plan to share those images through some of the Teams channels that we have with different elements of the academic community across our academic disciplines. So again, just trying to encourage that engagement and encourage the conversation around academic integrity. The other thing which we'd hoped might be ready but isn't quite ready, and again, Mary's already mentioned this, that on the Day of Action, there is going to be a session around the escape room that our life sciences students developed last year for last year's Day of Action. And we've been working with those students and other students from across the university to redevelop that escape room activity, and again to work with our academic colleagues and contextualize it to different disciplines, being very conscious. I think we've been made very aware that issues around academic integrity, for example, in art and design, are maybe quite different to what they might be in engineering or computing or the humanities, for example. So again, just trying to raise that awareness, contextualized to different disciplines. And again, the resources then that get released over the coming weeks following the Day of Action, again, we've had a lot of student input into those. And one of the ideas that we've got is we're using kind of a sort of comic strip approach to trying to communicate some of these issues, trying to think of visual ways to communicate, and also the fact we've got many international students. So using comics and some of the kind of genres which really, I guess, are more relatable to students. And one of the ideas we've had from our student feedback is to actually, because these are black and white sort of comic strips, is to release an iPad version which students can use for colouring in, because students like to do that to sort of practice sort of mindfulness or de-stressing. So again, we just hope that this, what we're doing to kind of seed these ideas and raise awareness is going to create new conversations to help us to build on that, and hopefully next year do something a little bit more wider reaching and a bit more substantial, as we've heard from other colleagues already. So that's what we're doing at Dundee. Thank you very much, Mary.
Thank you very much, Natalie. So again, everyone wants to just keep it growing, but also very good idea from Natalie there to try to combine something with the day, to maybe launch something that relates to academic integrity with the day, where possible, if you can get it ready in time. Next up, I would like to invite Lucy Puente Cruz from the University, the Tec de Monterrey in Mexico. And Lucy's going to talk about this from a Mexican perspective. So over to you, Lucy.
Thank you, Mary. I've got some slides here I would like to show you. So I think I'm ready. Good morning, everyone. I'm glad to be here to share with you some of the activities and events we have been doing at Tecnológico de Monterrey over the years to be part of this International Day of Action against contract cheating and support academic integrity. Here at Tech, as many universities, we have the commitment to raise awareness on contract cheating among students, faculty, and the community. Sometimes students are not fully aware of what contract cheating means, and if they do have an idea, they do not always seem to know what the real problem is. And faculty doesn't always know this can be happening in their classes. So we also wanted to get people to talk about academic integrity and what it means to actually live by its principles. So in order to address this issue, we had some experiences with contests. So in 2019, we decided to be part of this initiative and launched a poster competition called Integrity Starts With You. We asked students to create a poster to express why integrity matters and why it's important to say no to contract cheating. We had more than 450 students enrolled at the time and received more than 250 posters with different phrases to reflect on the issue. The posters at the bottom of the slide are two examples of what students did that time. One of them says, "Don't let others decide your destiny. It all starts with your homework." And the other poster says, "Do it yourself." We had a lot of participation in this event. To be the first one we had, it has been the most successful so far. The winners were selected by a group of teachers who were the jury. It was a really good experience, and we had, of course, some prizes, but we wanted more. So in 2020, we launched an Instagram stories contest called Live and Promote the Principles of Academic Integrity. Here we ask students to reflect on the things they do to study with integrity and post it on their Instagram stories using the hashtags IntegridadTech and Excel with Integrity. We had 35 phrases posted on Instagram. The phrases posted were put on voting, and the community voted for the best 3. As you can see in the blue screenshot that is located on the upper right side of this slide. And with this experience, we realized that not all activities on social media were the best option for our students, especially the stories, since they only last 24 hours and require a certain kind of logistics that we as a team, as organizers, we were not fully aware of at the time. Some students missed the use of hashtags, and we had trouble to find all the posts within the frame of 24-hour time. With this experience, we knew we had to try something different next year. So we were willing to change the dynamic, and that is what we came up with in 2021. Sorry, 2020, yes, 2021. Last year, we launched a contest called Give Voice to Academic Integrity. And this time, we let students work in pairs or in teams up to 4 people. And we asked them to create resources for an advertising campaign that were attractive, but most of all, meaningful to promote academic integrity among their classmates. We wanted to increase participation, given the experience the last year, and we let the creativity take the lead. So we let students decide what type of resources they wanted to do. Students created different graphic proposals to promote integrity. They designed posters, infographics, comics, stickers, short videos, even memes. We had more than 300 students involved and received more than 100 proposals. We struggled a bit when assessing the proposals since they were very different, very diverse, but we made up a good team of teachers who helped us to assess all these proposals using different rubrics to make the assessment fair. Well, what about this year? Well, we launched a contest called Lights, Camera, Integrity, and we asked students to create an original and funny movie trailer to motivate their classmates to act with integrity, both in their academic life and future professional life, and to avoid contract cheating. We let the students work on teams one more time because we noticed this is something that they prefer, and they have actually worked pretty well. We set up a landing page to inform about the contest and ask them to register their teams. if you let me, I can show you the landing page we set up here. Here we have information about the contest. We tell them what it is about. And here they can download the requirements they need to participate. And also we have this space in the landing page to explain to them what contract cheating means. Sometimes, as I said before, they are not very clear of what it is. So we let them know when are they committing contract cheating. And we had this space to let teams to register in, but it is now closed. The deadline was last Friday on September the 30th. So we have already received some of the videos. We had certain numbers I would like to share with you. We had 146 teams registered, which means about 367 students involved. But the students are still attracted to this contest. Not all the teams enrolled ended up making the video, but we did receive 105 videos. So we think this is a very good result. And we are now in a phase of assessing them so we can choose the winners and give them the prize. We also inform the faculty about the academic integrity program initiatives. We use email and social media to let them know what they are doing. So this time we send them a poster with the landing page, as you can see, and invited them to encourage their students to participate also, right? We did have a good answer from them, most of all from teachers who are part of the academic integrity program. We have ambassadors of academic integrity and also teachers who work in the academic integrity committees. So they were enthusiastic about the contest. And well, every year we set ourselves the goal to get more students involved, more faculty involved, supporting academic integrity. It is not easy at the beginning, but we have, of course, encountered some challenges on the way. Some of them I already talked about briefly, but we think we continue on the right path to foster integrity in our university. So thank you for having me today.
Thank you very much, Lucy. You really did help us to understand some of the challenges as well, but how you've successfully navigated different kinds of social media initiatives and activities to engage students really successfully. So hopefully there's something our audience and also our panel can take away. Thanks so much, Lucy. Next up, I would like to introduce Zinath Reza Khan from the University of Wollongong in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, who's joining us fairly late, I think, in Dubai. Welcome, Zinath. So I think you're going to talk about your experiences of using this day. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mary. It's really, I'm happy to be in this panel talking about and listening to everything everybody else has gone through, because it's a journey. And I think the more we share, the better, better it is for us as a community. And, we understand we are not alone. It feels like that sometimes when you're doing, when you're trying to celebrate the day, but, creating this community is fantastic. So I'm happy to be here. I'm just going to quickly share my screen. Just to give context. So when we first started in 2016, we from the Middle East, there was us and there was one more university from Oman, which is another country. Only two universities were participating. Very difficult to get students or staff involved because it was right at the beginning, just after the 2015 scandal that had happened in Australia with contract cheating. So a lot of people still weren't familiar with the terms. And when we said we wanted to do the whiteboard pledge, there wasn't a lot of bite from the community. So what we decided to do was keep it very simple. We had a notice board. We said, if you're interested, come and pledge with us, and we're going to put up your pledge on the notice board. So that garnered suddenly a lot of interest. A lot of students passed by and said, I want to pledge. What am I pledging? Tell me all about it. So that got us to open up that conversation and kind of have that dialogue. This is what contract cheating is. And, if you see, and they're like, oh yeah, I've gotten a card from a guy the other day who passed by the cafeteria saying, he was happy to, write assignments for us. So we got to know that, there are people like that are scouting students on our own campuses. So that was the first year. We just had the pledges on the board, and that was about it. The next year we said, we want to do a little bit more. So we got the library involved, and the library said, yes, count us in. We definitely want to join hands and see what all we can do to help. So they came up with the workshops for learning skill, academic writing skills, and what are the pitfalls when you're doing essays and reports. So that was a hit. And 2017 also, we decided we were going to do a debate. The debate topic was on whether these essay mills are real businesses. Because at the end of the day, they are earning money. They've got a pool of customers. There's a demand, there's supply. So are they real businesses which have social license to operate? So we kind of, took some things from the ethics classes, business ethics classes, and the IT ethics classes, and we put it together. We got the naughtiest of kids in the class who usually either sit at the front and make a lot of noise, sit at the back, or don't want to come into class, and we got them to become speakers, and we put them against lecturers. This was a huge hit on campus. The arguments were really well thought out on both sides, and the cheers that were going on, the clapping and booting, and so it was an absolute win. So the next year, 2018, we said, now we've got so much interest, we can't just do one day. We started doing a whole week of actions against contract cheating and misconduct. So it grew from just one day to 1 week. And we had, panel sessions, we'd have workshops from the counselors talking about the impact, psychological impact of cheating. Why do people keep going back to doing what they did, knowing that it is wrong? So looking at a lot of very difficult questions that the career counselor, the counselor in our campus was answering. And it really helped us to see that students who had faltered needed that support also. And that kind of led us to open up the triage clinic that we have now. It's been running very successfully, where if a student has an allegation against them, they are most welcome to come and speak to us. We've got student champions, we've got faculty members who've been trained, we've also got the counselor at hand. Everything is very confidential, so we make sure nothing gets out, but students feel really comfortable. First, they'll come and they'll be like, I'm not sure why I'm here. Great, let's just talk about what happened. And slowly they will scream, they will shout, they'll be like, it's unfair, da 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 da. But at the end, when finally, when we actually dissect the whole issue and the problem, and we get down to what really happened, they realize, okay, so this was the mistake. I see it. Thank you for explaining it to me. So getting to that conversation, and then letting them know this wasn't the end of their academic career, that there is a way back. So basically using restorative practice to get them back and to not repeat themselves. So this was launched as a part of the IDoA FS. By 2019, we had the Uni-Clinic Wellbeing Days and the Academic Integrity Week happening side by side, where we started badging ceremonies of recognizing integrity ambassadors and champions. And we developed flashcards, which basically were the policies, but in a very short, quick, crisp manner. So students could just do a search and they could find what they needed instead of going through the bulk, the policy documents that usually are very boring to read. So this became a really quick, easy way of getting students to be engaged in this work. By 2020, of course, there was the pandemic, but the good thing that happened on our side was we got together, a few of us colleagues from different universities, and we started the Center for Academic Integrity in the UAE. And this gave us so much more opportunities because we had different campuses, students from different schools and universities joining in. So we did things like pledge parties, pledge trees, as you can see on the left-hand side top corner. So they had created a tree, and each of those leaves were a pledge by people. Different webinars, a lot of them led by the students, students taking part in international conferences, international events in IDoA as part of the student committee. Doing publications. They came up, the students came up with an idea to do the Integrity Debate Championship, where we had like 18 schools battling out really dynamic set of topics on academic integrity and contract cheating. So it's a host of things that we have been doing that have really created that buzz. But having said that, now that we are back on campus, I have once again felt that, that vacuum that seems to have suddenly occurred, because now we are face to face and we were online last year, where, we are having to sort of again start from the scratch and create that buzz all over again, and, get people on board again. It's new group of students, new student councils, and, getting that passion going again. So 3-4 years, I'm back to start, so to speak, and hoping and keeping very positive that we can start building again. It's never too late to start planning. It's amazing if you've already started planning, but if you haven't, it's still never too late. Something as simple as just doing a pledge tree doesn't take a long time to arrange. You could just put it up and you will be surprised at how much the effort students put in coming by and pledging. Something even as simple as that, it's very visual and it really attracts students. It's one of those things they can't not write if they see it up there. So they will put in there. There might be some corny ones, but a majority of them will be really useful and really on point with the, the purpose of putting up a board like that. So it's hard sometimes. I might feel like you're really lonely, but you're not. We are all in the same boat. Doesn't matter which part of the world we are in. Please, if you have not registered, do register for the day and think about something exciting, something simple that you might want to start with. Reach out to any of us if you think you want to just, bounce off some ideas to see what they feel like, or if you think they're going to work or not work. And we are happy to also support you in any way. Thank you so much. Mary?
Thanks so much for sharing all of those stories and ideas, Zeenath. As I can't see anything in the chat right now, but please do feel free now to write anything in the chat or ask any questions under the Q&A. But I was just thinking, one of the things that Zeenath just talked about was a pledge tree, which is a really nice idea to try to engage students. I know that Irene has done something similar at Coventry. Irene, would you like to talk about the wall?
Yes, I'll talk about the wall. And the other thing I thought I might just do, if we've got time, I just run through a few of the ideas that came up this morning as well. There's some really interesting ones, weren't there?
Great.
Yes, the wall, a very simple idea. It doesn't cost very much money, just a little bit of paper. So the idea is that you make some paper bricks, and each brick is given to students, a bit like the tree, and they write on the brick. They write their pledge, and it was something that we did a few years ago. Our Students' Union did it, and then we built a wall of integrity by putting the bricks on a glass wall, and so you could actually see the pledges, and that was quite fun. And we left it there for quite a while after the event, and it was there for people to read all the integrity pledges. So that was quite nice. And the lady this morning from the University of Auckland, Cheryl, was it?
Yeah.
I get that.
Cheryl McIntosh.
Cheryl. I had this wonderful, so she took the idea and she said she was going to run with that one, and they were going to call it "Put a Brick in the Wall for Integrity." So another brick in the wall. So we quite like that. And I think the funniest thing we heard this morning came from Nigeria, and they had what she called an academic integrity float. And what she meant by that is they had they hired a lorry, some kind of big truck, and with a band on it, and they played lots of music, and they went round to student dorms and to the dean's office. They played all the music, and they woke everybody up and got everybody to come out, and then they told them all about integrity. So I thought that was, that was a really fun thing to do, and we're hoping that she might find some pictures to send us of that. That sounded like a really good thing. Lots of interesting things there. Another one, they're planning to run this year a treasure hunt. I'd quite like to know what is in that treasure hunt, but it's a treasure hunt all about integrity. So lots of really nice ideas there. So I should leave it there for now, and there are a few more I can come up with later, but let's see if there are any questions yet.
I can't see any, but yes, I would fully endorse Irene's comments about the academic integrity float. What a novel idea, to actually have some entertainment to try and engage students in academic integrity. I know some of the students from that university, that was an idea from Emilienne Akpan from the American University of Nigeria. Some of her students said that they got bored when they were given different resources, just somebody talking, they would just get bored. So I think that's actually something to take on board, that we need to engage students to try to help them understand academic integrity. So maybe music, maybe things like treasure hunts, quizzes. I can see that Amanda's put in an idea about what was done in Greece. Do you want to say any more about that, Amanda?
No, I wish I could share the photo because it was quite interesting, but it was, again, a large wall with a printed poster, and students came along and dipped their finger into, I believe it was paint, and had a nice fingerprint on the wall. So it really is kind of a tangible commitment that people were making. And I think it from the sounds of it, it went over very well with students in Greece.
Great. So yeah, again, that might be something that students don't forget. An opportunity to put their fingers in paint might be something that really triggers their thoughts about academic integrity. Well, maybe something else I can do, if you would like to look in the chat, there are the social media hashtags that Michael has posted, but I can see now there is a comment. Is it a comment? Yeah, from Lorelei at the University of Calgary. The Faculty of Science are doing a donut cheat. Okay. You get a donut for participating. Okay. I wonder how successful it is.
Interesting shots from previous International Days of Action, if I can share those. You'd be interested.
Oh, great. Yes, please do.
Yeah, I didn't show those this morning, but I'll see if I'm allowed to share a screen.
You should be able to, Irene, at the bottom.
Is that showing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so these screens are from various places. So this was from Derry. It doesn't have the fingerprint on it, but that was from Greece, from Derry. And that shows the whiteboard pledges, which is what we call them in the first instance. And that one is from College of DuPage in USA. You can fool the world, but you can't fool God. And he looks very happy about it too, doesn't he? And actually, there's lots of pledges behind him as well on the wall. There's a screen there with lots of pledges on the wall. And here we are. And that was the original, one of the original hashtags was defeat the cheat, which we've stopped using now because of the negative connotations of that one. But there is the late and great Tracy Brettag on that one in the University of South Australia. And here's some really nice pledges. I don't contract cheat because be original. There we are. So some interesting ones there. That's a Rio Salado College, USA. And this is my own institution. This is Coventry University, and this is some of our students. And I'm just in the background there. You can just see me behind one of our students. And there is my friend Eric Borg, who unfortunately died about 2 years ago. But we borrowed the idea that we had some balloons, which were rather nice. And this was a stall that we had in our students' union. And we borrowed the idea of the spinning wheel. Can you see that in the background? We borrowed that from Deakin University in Australia. That was their idea, to have a kind of like a roulette of contract cheating, and that is Deakin University as well. That was their own event on the National Day of Action. There's another one. There's another kind of spinning the wheel one. Anything that's bright at Staffordshire University, that's in the UK. And there's a game. Defeat the cheat again. There we are. Oh, I thought that was rather sweet. So somebody writing on a very large wall. Was that the fingerprint one? I think we're to next one. Is that the fingerprint one?
No, that one was the one from Oman.
Okay, so this one here, that looks like a fingerprint, doesn't it, that one?
Yeah.
That's Derry. So perhaps that's the one that Amanda was talking about.
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, and this is one I shared this morning, where this is a card that we made, where on one side it talks about contract cheating, and on the other side it talks about academic integrity, and we give those out to students. There's another one. Overcoming obstacles. Okay, I shall stop sharing at that point. So, okay.
Great, thank you, Irene. So, yeah,
Stop sharing. Okay.
that's okay. So lots of ideas, lots of resources. There are lots of resources also on the ICAI website, and in particular on the International Day of Action web page on there, which I have reshared, and also I've reshared the link to sign up for the live events on the day. So we hope as many people as possible will join us for the live events on the 19th of October. If you found today interesting, then hopefully you'll also find those events interesting, because what we're trying to do is see how everyone can contribute to academic integrity, and also not just on the day, but all year round. I'll just hang on to see if there are any final comments or questions. But if not, I think, okay, Amanda's saying thank you to everybody, and that this will be on the YouTube channel. So I'd like to thank everybody for coming to this session, and a special thank you to all the panelists today who've given a lot of food for thought, a lot of ideas, a lot of ways of overcoming the challenges, and hopefully we have succeeded in demystifying the International Day of Action. So thanks so much to everyone, and look forward to seeing you again on the 19th of October for the International Day of Action against contract cheating and promoting academic integrity. Thanks so much.